Long in that first half, and shot 54% in the first half. Then things kind of just plummeted in that third. What changed?
Um, it felt to me like it started with our offense. I think we turned the ball over. I don't know what the total number is, but I think we had 8 live ball turnovers in the third quarter. And then I thought we got a little mentally not where we needed to be and lost sight of the main stuff we said was important, which was taking care of the paint and rebounding and not fouling. Um, and it just spiraled us in that quarter. We were able to get ourselves back out of it to a degree, but a 25-10 quarter, much like the other night, I think our mentality coming out of the half was good, but when you throw the ball all over the gym for a few minutes and you play into a crowd and, even late in the game, we're turning over inbounds passes, you don't get those possessions back.
Exactly what I was going to ask next about was not just specifically the inbounds turnover, but we talk a lot about not a whole lot of room for error.
Yep.
And it's little moments like that it's really hard for you guys to kind of get over.
It is. And kind of like what we talked about, with our fouling in Connecticut, I thought kind of the same thing applied tonight, maybe on the offensive end. I don't look at the box score. Leah had turnovers. Some of them were on rolls and moving screens and stuff. But, because I have one, then you have one, and somebody else has one. And it's those moments you need to calm down a little bit and really work to execute as opposed to getting sped up.
Last one, just wanted to ask about Aaliyah, career numbers all over the place. How much more is she getting comfortable? How much more are you very specifically trying to get her in good positions and get her the ball? And just overall, how much is she, almost progressing day by day?
Well, I think it felt like for the first couple of weeks of the season that once she started making some of those layups, it was going to look pretty good. And she finished well tonight. She finished in traffic. She's making her free throws, and she pursues the ball on the boards. I mean, I think it says a lot about somebody when we spoke for 2 days about rebounding, and she goes out and gets 14 boards. It's somebody that kind of puts her money where her mouth is, basically. Like, she's going to step up and do the job required.
Eric, what are you kind of saying to the team when it kind of, spirals a little bit and you're trying to get them back in there? You talked a lot about kind of that mental, like things got off kilter a little bit. Like what is your message? How are you trying to like reset?
Just trying to put us back on task for kind of the main principles for the game, playing without fouling, moving our feet, getting the ball out of the paint, and blockouts. It's hard when you turn it over and they're scattered. And you got people like Kennedy Carter going downhill in transition. It's hard for anybody in the league. That's why you got to take better care of the ball. I talked about trying to take a breath and widen everybody's vision out a little bit and not be so tunnel visioned. Slow down and execute. It's hard to get out of sometimes.
And, Emily got some run there in the first half in particular. What were you looking for? What'd you see with the lineups that she was in?
Honestly, I thought Emily had a great shoot around this morning. Sometimes that, maybe doesn't seem like a big thing to people, but we're trying to simulate Chicago, and she was all over the boards, and I thought she carried that right into the game. She gets 5 boards in 9 minutes. That should give us good minutes.
Last one for me. Just were there adjustments you saw Chicago make in that second half that were causing problems, or do you feel like it was more self-inflicted?
They got a little bit more aggressive in their pick and roll coverages. They started blowing up some of our handoffs. We have adjustments for that stuff. I mean, team wants to be more aggressive. That leaves you usually 4-on-3s if you get the ball out of pressure. I just thought we missed opportunities. I thought for a while we missed shots, and then we started kind of getting sped up and being careless with the ball.
Eric, you mentioned those missed shots. Was it just missing some wide open ones? Was Chicago contesting things differently? What did you see from your perspective there?
I mean, we missed some open ones for sure. I got to watch some of it back. We end up with, only 17 3-point attempts. We've been up in the mid to high 20s most nights. So obviously they did something to take that away. I didn't think they let other shooters come off clean on much, but the trade-off is we scored a ton in the paint, man. I think if we get shots on some of those possessions where we turned it over, it's probably a different story.
How much did the foul trouble affect your rotations and what you were trying to do?
I mean, a bit. I had to protect people. Not a crazy amount, but even like, trying to take Ariel out for a minute, just to get to the media timeout without getting her sixth foul. I mean, it literally could have been 5 seconds if there had been a dead ball, but instead we get scored on. We throw away the inbound and they score again. So, that's on me. Thought we'd get through till a dead ball and not get her sixth foul on a side out of bounds play for them. That got Steph out a couple times, but ended up not being I don't think that's what cost us.
And I know it's not the result you guys wanted, but how do you feel like the team was able to react to the crowd and the energy that was in the building tonight?
Great. I thought we were feeding off it. Obviously, we came out well. I don't know. I appreciate our crowd coming out. I know there was Chicago fans too, or fans of their players, but it was a great atmosphere to play in, and we got to pick ourselves up quick and do it again tomorrow night.
Eric, just wanted to get your thoughts about how you think Aaliyah really responded to the crowd, just knowing how many people were coming there to see her tonight.
I mean, she gave him a great performance. I know that. She maybe sometimes during games I don't take as much notice of how players are responding to the crowd, but we were definitely feeding off the energy when we were on a run. I think they love her already and how hard she plays, and it's very easy to identify with.
And on a back-to-back like this, with a game tomorrow, I guess just what's the message to this team going into tomorrow? Just knowing the quick turnaround that you guys are going to need to have.
No pouting. Get our heads up quick. Study up on Indiana as quick as we can as a team, and just try to improve. It's not 40 minutes of bad basketball. It's not even probably 10, even in that third quarter. It's not 10 straight minutes of bad basketball. We got to just try to cut those runs a little bit faster and get better. And a few possessions can be a big difference.
Eric, back here and at the top. You were just talking about how you guys were in good positions at points today. You guys have had multiple games this year where you guys had a lead, where things were looking good. And just with that being said, including tonight, how frustrating is it to be sitting here at 0-10 at this point in the season?
Extremely frustrating.
And I guess maybe what's your message to your team just about trying to claw out of this position in terms of that?
Yeah, I think we've been pretty good about not sulking, not hanging our heads or pointing fingers. I hear accountability in our locker room. I hear leadership in our locker room from different people. And that's the first step. That's what you need to get out of it. Everybody has to be better. Coaches got to be better. Players got to be better. And, like I said, it's not necessarily we got to be better. I mean, we got to be better all the time, but it's just key moments, key stretches of the game where we have to sustain for longer. You can't have a bad quarter.
And just looking towards tomorrow with a chance to pick up the first win of the season, is there any message to the players in terms of, this would be a great time to do? I know you'd be happy anytime, but, with Caitlin Clark, who everybody's been, talking about and having it be another game that'll be packed here at Capital One Arena.
It would be a great time to do it. That's for sure.
Thank you.
You mentioned accountability and leadership in the locker room. What does that look like?
I think you have people stepping up and taking stuff on their own shoulders. I hear a bunch of voices. I hear Ariel, I hear Shatori, I hear Shakira, I hear Slim. I hear a lot of people saying the right things with the right message, trying to keep the group together. A lot of it's just about mindset, attitude. I think it's very much a tone of, I don't think anybody feels like anybody has bad attitudes or bad mindsets. It's just, as we've mentioned a bunch, it's very difficult when you're going through this, when you're not winning games, it's very difficult and it's easy to go separate directions. And to this team's credit, we have not done that. I feel everybody pulling the same way. We just got to get over the hump.
Eric, I'm just curious, what were the halftime conversations like? Because there was so much going right for the group, but then to come out relatively flat, just what were those conversations like? And if there's anything that needs to change going into halftime?
I mean, the conversations were about kind of the things I touched off the top, which was we had them to 5 offensive boards at the half, and I think they had 20 and change in the paint. You know, we said the rebounding, that was okay, not great, but okay. And we had to tighten up the paint, but kind of went the other way. I thought offensively we lost our rhythm. You know, we talked about them up in their pressure. Talked about having to keep our dribble and play with poise. I don't know. I'd have to watch it back and decide whether I thought we really came out flat or if we just were missing shots or turning it over that led to them running out and getting momentum.
Is there a sense that you're, I guess, more happy that there is an opportunity to run this back tomorrow instead of being able to harp on it for the next few days? You get a chance to kind of wipe the slate clean with a potential win tomorrow.
I think so. I mean, it's a quick turnaround, but we got a prideful group, and I think come 7:30 tomorrow night, we'll be ready to go.
That's all the time we have. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.